I'm not sure when the Draymond and Kenyon Martin beef started. I do know that Kenyon has been saying a couple of things here and there for the better part of, I don't know. It's been the past couple of years where he's like thrown slick jabs here and there. And I don't know what's the premise behind it. I know that Kenyon is the tough guy, so he holds the crown of making sure people know who's tough, who's not. But I don't understand where it came from. I'm kind of odd. So this clip right here, this is the last straw. And we'll play this. But we can go back to even this clip. This was in the middle of the summer. And this is what Kmart had to say about Draymond.
But that man body of work is what it is. It's cool. Individual.
A lot of people were left out.
His individual body work stands for itself.
That's why I picked him.
So that's cool. Let's not act like Draymond was fucking LaMarcus Aldridge.
He was doing what?
Let's not act
Okay.
like Draymond Green is LaMarcus Aldridge.
At all.
He's a champ.
At all.
That's the only thing he has on him. That's the only thing he has. That's the only thing he has on him.
It's not even close.
That's the only thing he has on him.
It's not even close.
That's the only thing that Draymond has on him.
All right.
We're going to keep going, but I just want to be clear. That's not the only thing Draymond has on him. Draymond is a better passer and a better defender than LaMarcus Aldridge. But fair. However, the reason why like the whole people getting upset with Draymond, and Draymond is like a really good litmus test and an indicator of where you stand in terms of like basketball knowledge and also the degree of consistency people will give. I have heard nothing but old heads over the last, as long as I've been alive, talk about two things that are missing in dialogue or in today's league, and that's defense and championships trumps all. But that whole championship and defensive shit, that is really just meant to keep certain players below other players, and so you can feel comfortable about this player being better than this player. That's all that really is. Because now when players start winning championships that you don't like, now all of a sudden defense and championships, now that just don't matter no more. That just don't even matter no more. And the same shit is about to happen to Shea. Shea gonna keep racking up these championships, and y'all can't keep telling me how Isaiah Thomas or John Stockton or Oscar, all them other point guards are about to be out the fucking window. It's done. But again, that's the foundation that y'all have laid for decades now when y'all are trying to gauge players. But now all of a sudden when it's players that y'all may not like or don't favor for whatever reason, check off these same boxes that y'all been putting down in place, now all of a sudden it don't matter. And also I'm gonna say this as well. My affinity and my feelings for Draymond is definitely different from the casual viewer. Because if we're being honest with ourselves, I would rather have Draymond than LaMarcus Aldridge, solely because neither one of them are going to be the best player on the championship team. I know that for a fact. So if I had to piece together a team where they are the second best player on the roster, Draymond has provided the evidence that he can be the second best player on the championship caliber team. Not only that, I think overall people grossly miscalculate the defensive impact that Draymond has on the floor. I think they grossly misunderstand that. Draymond is, in my opinion, he is genuinely one of the top 10 defenders the league has ever seen. He is one of the top 10 defenders ever. And I do not believe that Draymond at his best can give you 12 to 14. The 10-point difference that LaMarcus Aldridge may provide, I do not think that makes up for how great of a defender that he is. And I do think that Draymond got extremely lucky because of the situation that he was in, without a doubt. But I also believe that the Warriors are also extremely lucky for what he provided to that team as well.
Everything.
That's the only thing.
Everything.
We're talking about basketball here. We're talking about basketball.
Everything.
We're talking about basketball.
Okay, LaMarcus can score. What else he can do?
Nigga, there's not.
What else can he do?
I can list 200 people that's better at basketball than Draymond Green right now.
Name me 200.
That's where this started. And this in July, where he said he can name 200 players that are better than Draymond. I call cap on that. I don't think that you can. However, it then picked back up a couple of days ago when Kenyon had some more to say about Draymond.
For one reason or another, I don't put him in the category with the guys that I named. That's all. And I've watched Draymond's career from the time he came in to now. And I think a lot of the things and the people who he has done things to has been calculated. I don't think it's not spur of the moment things. It ain't reactionary things. It's people, and I said it's just people who he hasn't hit someone or did something to someone and someone's instant reaction is the next step, right? Everybody complains, everybody looks.
Now, I want to be clear. I don't understand his logic for two reasons. A, bro, I've seen Draymond tussle with Steven Adams and Zach Randolph. So I don't know what the fuck this man is talking about. But also, maybe the reason why people don't go back and forth with Draymond is because in their mind, they believe that he is that nigga. He's the one that I don't want to go back and forth with. So the reason why no one doesn't react to him is because he is the one that niggas go back and forth with. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, bro, Draymond has gotten into altercations with Zebo. And so unless you think that Zebo is not one of them, however, I've seen Draymond do things to certain people where it's like, I personally don't think that it's really worth that back and forth. I really don't.
Let's talk to these people about you punching me.
Oh my God! I thought we was gonna go into that. Listen, man. Listen, all that in the phone, but listen, that was in the past. Listen, you know what? It's so funny because like when we're in the finals, bro, it got after because listen, me and you are both. We're both the glue guys. We're the muscle for our team. So obviously, shit happened in the past, but it's stupid. Like I'm like, man, we so past that. It was a crazy night at Delilah. Fucking Delilah. Delilah and tequila.
Other thing that's problematic with a lot of players in today's game is that because they're playing so long, those type of stories just haven't gotten out yet. At this point of Curry, Clay, Draymond, KD, Russ, Harden, LeBron's career, the stories of like all the things that would have happened to solidify their legacy that we got out of everyone else would have already came by now because like everybody else, they normally not in the league. So all this like, oh shit, y'all fought each other? Oh shit, y'all did this and that. Oh, like all that stuff would have came out. So we actually don't know if anything has happened. But I personally do believe that Draymond is just one of them niggas that's just a nut. So niggas been stepping on people, kicking people in the nuts. He kicked Steven Adams in the nuts like twice. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that he is. However, Draymond, after being silent, he decided I'm finally going to respond, and he had a pretty lengthy response.
It's a little disappointing because for those of you that don't know, Kenyon Martin was born in Saginaw, Michigan. Kenyon Martin, dad.
Eric QM said Draymond's getting into bar fights at Michigan State like he's always been a dog. He might be saying it right now too.
Paul Roby played at my high school. And so growing up in a city like Saginaw, Michigan, you're always looking for hope when you grow up in a city like that. So another person that was born in Saginaw, Michigan was Serena Williams. And although these two people that I just mentioned didn't quite grow up in Saginaw, spent some of their younger lives in Saginaw, but didn't quite grow up in Saginaw. A city with so much pride, like a small city like Saginaw, still root for those people relentlessly. So I spent my childhood rooting for Serena Williams relentlessly because you feel that connection. Like, yo, when you look her name up, and where she's born, it says Saginaw, Michigan. And for a city that's always looking for hope, you're so proud that she was born in the same place that we were born. As a Saginaw native, you relentlessly cheer for those people. So the constant shots has been a little confusing to me because I don't quite know where they came from. And you think, someone that was a number one pick that didn't quite have the career that I've had, but played similar roles in a sense, would appreciate it, would show more love, especially when you go back to a kid born and raised in Saginaw. You think it'll be a little more love. So it's a little disappointing to see the constant shots. I just always thought it'll be a little more love than that. But when you were the number one pick and effectively, underachieved, I guess that would be the reason why.
I ain't gonna lie, I have not seen all of Draymond stuff. I have not seen all Kenyon Martin stuff, but I do know this is about to get nasty. Like, really, really, really nasty.
To be the number one pick and make the All-Star game one time, most would say it's probably an underachievement. Be that I was the 35th pick and made the All-Star game 4 times. Defensive player of the year, Kenyon Martin was a defender, I think.
This is getting nasty, chat. This is getting nasty.
He would consider himself a good defender. Never quite reached the pinnacle of that when you talk defensive player of the years. or 9 all defensive teams that I had, that I have, and he has 0.
Oh man.
It's tough to sit in a space of like continuing to speak on my name and call my name out as if I underachieved or am underachieving when I was just simply the 35th pick in the NBA draft and somebody took a swing on in the second round and it just happened to work out, to become one of the greatest players in the franchise history. It just happened to work out. You'd think there'd be more love from a guy who plays similar roles but underachieved a bit. Like, you'd think he'd be like, man, but look at the heights that this guy took it to. And then, so that the guys cut from a mold like us, that now it's a path created that they can take it to even higher heights. That's the love that I thought would be there, but it's just been a little weird and like constant shots, and due to my respect and my love because of the connection that I once shared, or still share from being, born and raised in Saginaw, Michigan, I've held off on responding multiple times. Number one, because I just know when I respond to shit, it takes on a whole nother world and guys get more publicity than they necessarily get when I don't respond. So I've been kind of taking the path of like, I ain't going to say nothing because I don't want to give people more publicity. But more importantly than the publicity, I try to stay in a space of respect. You know what I'm saying? I try not to be moved by someone just saying a thing or two. Because at the end of the day, I still have my beliefs. And my beliefs are, man, I've rooted for this guy for a very long time, So I'm not a wishy-washy guy. Just because somebody says something, I'm not just going to jump out there and be like, oh, man, like, I got to respond or forget all of that. Like, no, I stand on what I believe in. And what I believed in is like, no, I supported that guy. So I'm not just going to jump off the rails and attack him or be responding. And
as a sidebar, the fact that he doesn't say Kenyon Martin's name is also pretty disgusting. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is getting nasty. This is getting real nasty. Nigga said I'm gonna take the high road, but before I take the high road, let's be clear. You're underachiever. But I'm gonna take the high road. I'm gonna take the high road. You ain't got no DPO wise. I'm gonna take the high road though. I'm gonna take the high road. Draymond, regardless if you like it or not, Draymond is a Hall of Famer. He is a Hall of Famer.
Getting in these back and forths because of the respect and love that I had growing up as a kid. But man, the shots just keep coming. And it's like, dang, why? And again, I just don't know how you can continue to shoot at me and you underachieve. Like, one All-Star? Make no mistake about it. You are an All-Star. I'll give you that. A lot of people can't say they're an All-Star, so I'll give you that. You're a one-time All-Star. That's beautiful. But you must admit, like, to be the player that you were and defender that you believed you were and to not have, like, a single all-defensive second team, it's kind of an underachievement. Number one pick in the draft. A lot of people look for that guy to win Rookie of the Year. Didn't. All-rookie team, though. First team all-rookie. That's an accolade that I can't say I have. I ain't really played much as a rookie as the 35th pick. So I can't say I made any all-rookie team. So kudos. I tip my hat to that. It started off promising. But I just, like I said, man, the shots, they're just a little baffling to me. Because all the criticism, like, if I stopped playing basketball today, my career was better, way more impactful. I think Kenyon Martin lost in a couple NBA finals. He got to sniff it. Didn't quite get a taste, but got a little sniff of it. Yeah, so.
Fuck, man. And again, I want to be clear. These are the parameters that you old heads have set down and laid for the foundation for niggas to talk crazy because they won championships. That's the foundation that you all have laid down for it to happen.
Your resume got to be a little better to just keep taking shots. It's not that people, like, your resume don't match up, people can't say, but these have been shots being taken. And it's just a little disappointing because, like I said, that's a guy who I cheer for relentlessly. Him in 2000 playing for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to see that championship through either. My big brother, Martin Cleese, went and took that championship.
Tough fuck. Nigga basically said, you ain't never won, bro. You've never won. Oh, man.
So, yeah, man, it's just a little disappointing that it's kind of come down to this. I also, I see clips every now and then come from the show. And in particular, I see Kenyon Martin try to attack Nick Young about his NBA championship. But one thing I want to share with Kenyon Martin and Rashad McCants, a couple guys who tries to attack Nick Young about his NBA championship is this. I know you guys don't understand what it means to win an NBA championship. And because of that, you guys are
fuck, bro. Oh, my God.
Nick Young because y'all don't know what it takes. So I'm going to share with you all. And because of that, you guys don't understand what it means to win an NBA championship. And because of that, you guys attack Nick Young because y'all don't know what it takes. So I'm going to share with you all, non-champions, what it takes to win an NBA championship. So in an NBA championship, you have your guys who has to deliver on the roster. And for us, at times, that was me, Steph, and Clay, Andre Iguodala. But he come off the bench, so there's still some grace. But me, Steph, and Clay, we had to deliver. You had to. And then you have all your guys who like play a role, and what role players do in
Yeah, not saying KD name is kind of nasty, but he about to get some shit off. It is what it is. Not saying Kevin Wayne is crazy, but you know, it is what it is.
NBA playoffs en route to NBA championships are. What they do is, what I like to call them is swing players. As opposed to role players, I like to call them swing players. What do I mean by swing players? Your job as a role player throughout an NBA championship run is it's easier said than done, but the concept is simple. Your job is to swing one series. And what I mean by that is you be the piece in one series that swings the series. Because we know what Steph going to do. We know what Clay going to do. We know what Draymond going to do. We know what they're going to bring to the floor.
Talking to yourself in third person is crazy, but I'm going to let you have it, Dre.
We need one player that we're not necessarily expecting to do X to swing the series. And so when you go look at our championship run that Nick Young was a part of, Nick Young was the swing player in the Houston series. Game 6 or 7, Nick Young was one of the primary defenders on James Harden. Nick Young hit big threes. He swung the series for us. Guess what? Job done. When you talk about winning a championship, he swung the series. That's his job as a role player, to swing one series. He did that. So when you guys try to say his championship don't matter, he just got a ring.
He definitely gassing it, but I'm going to let the nigga get that shit off. Hey, he definitely gassing it, but I'm going to let him get that shit off. I'm going to let him get it off.
No, he didn't. What he did was swing a series, but because you guys never won a championship, you don't quite understand that concept. So as a 4-time champion, I'm here to share with you guys that effectively underachieved of what it means for a role player to help contribute to an NBA championship. So I hope to not see more clips of you guys trying to shit on Swaggy and say his ring meant nothing and he did nothing for it. What he did was what you need a role player to do. What the New Jersey Nets needed Kenyon Martin to do. They needed.
Oh, no. Oh, no. No, this is about to get nasty. Because I'm going to be honest with you. For those who do not know, I think Kenyon has like one of, if not the worst scoring performances of all time in the finals. I think it's the 03 finals where he just got locked the fuck up by Tim Duncan. He shot like 3 for 23 in the finals. 3 for 23. Kenyon was trying to score on Duncan. And this was the result of it. So if he get in this bag, it's about to be. Show the turnovers? Kenyon Martin had 22 turnovers. Hold on, wait. Kenyon Martin had 22 turnovers in a 6-game series, more than Jason Kidd. Oh, man. Kenyon Martin shot 34% from the field in that series. Fuck. Draymond can deadass get in his Duffy with some shit. I don't know if he's going to, but.
And say his ring meant nothing and he did nothing for it. What he did was what you need a role player to do. What the New Jersey Nets needed Kenyon Martin to do. They needed you to swing the series. But you couldn't swing the series, so y'all lost. Y'all got smacked. Nick Young swung the series. So as opposed to shitting on Nick Young, the NBA champion that you kind of can't do, understand a little bit of what he did. And maybe you can help the next generation swing the series. But, yeah, hopefully there'll be more love, man.
Hold on, wait, y'all say he averaged 5 fouls? No way. No. That actually genuinely might just be one of the worst series of like all time of anybody. You're telling me in 6 games, this nigga had 30 fouls? He had 29 Oh, no. You averaged 5 fouls? No. See, the 14 and 10 look good. 15 and 10, I'm gonna round up. The 15 and 10 look good, but the 34% from the field? The 29 fouls? The 22 turnovers? You took 105 shots, 24 free throws, and only scored 88 points? Nigga, you had an 8 turnover game? 6 fouls, 5, 5, 5, 5, 3. Oh my days! Kenyon Martin had a 3-game stretch where the nigga averaged 6 turnovers and 5 fouls. Oh no. I knew Kenyon had a bad finals. Also, I knew Tim Duncan was that good though, to be fair. I didn't know it was that bad. That is a hell of a finals. After that response, Kenyon Martin then decided to respond himself, and he picked up on the challenge, the 200 name challenge of actually giving 200 names that are better than Draymond Green.
Not necessarily that kind of a glue guy. I was asked to do certain things and play certain people and score. I was actually, you know what? I was actually asked to score for us to win. I was actually asked to put that little round thing into that other little round thing. Like, for real, like they asked me to do, they ran plays. Like, for me, like to go do. I just wasn't a passer. I wasn't sitting there finding guys and two of the best shooters of all time. Right? That's what I wasn't asked to do those things. That just I was asked to go play actual basketball. Like pass it to me, shoot it, score it. Yeah, those things.
Okay, I want everybody to know this. And again, this goes back to, I gauge you based off of how you talk about Draymond Green. I want everybody to know. 2015, 16, and 17, when they won 2 championships and made 3 finals appearances. In that postseason run, Draymond averaged 14 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. 14 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Kenyon Martin, when you went to the finals in those years, you were basically averaging the exact same thing with less assists and a worse defender. Okay, Kenyon was averaging a little bit more than 14. Kenyon was averaging, so you averaged 18 points, Draymond averaged 14. Draymond averaged 10 rebounds, you averaged 8. You averaged 3 assists. Draymond averaged 6. Draymond averaged a steal, a 1.7 steal, a block and a half. You averaged fewer steals and blocks. Both of y'all basically shot like shit, 43 and 44% from the field. However, Draymond is shooting threes and shooting that bad. You're not shooting threes and you're shooting sub 44% from the field. On your 2-pointers, you made 45% of your twos. Draymond is making 49% of his twos. And then Draymond also got to the free throw line and shot better from the free throw line than you as well. This is the part where I be saying, like, bro. And even though, yes, he had the benefit of playing with both Steph and Clay, and in one of these runs also played with Kevin Durant as well. However, and this is the reason why it's hard to not be pro Draymond in these conversations, because in 2016, when they needed them to step up, Clay and Dre, to get past the first 2 rounds, basically without Curry, bro, Draymond stepped the fuck up, proving that he's not Curry dependent. He is not as Curry dependent as many of you all make him out to be. Because in that postseason run, in the 2016 postseason run, in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, before basically Curry was back 100% healthy and playing, Draymond was averaging 18.5 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal and a half, 2 blocks, and shot 45% from the field, 42% from 3, and 47% on his twos. That's what Draymond was doing. And in this 10-game stretch, Curry played, I think, 2.5 games. The idea that Draymond is as dependent as you all make him seem to be, I don't believe it to be true when he was playing at his absolute best. And as I also say that, no shade to Kenyon, because there were definitely moments where Kenyon was asked to create his own shots, without a doubt. But also, Kenyon, you played with one of the greatest passers the league has ever seen. A good portion of your shots were assisted by Jason Kidd. So let's be clear on that as well. But if we're gonna sit here and say that Kenyon is a better scorer, I'm not denying you're a better rebounder. But passing, playmaking, defense, I don't know, bro. And even if you were to say that they would have won those championships, if you put Kenyon in that position inside of Draymond, which could be true. I don't know if they get to the conference finals in 2016 without Draymond for Kenyon, though. I fail to believe that. But even if you want to say that's fine. It's hard for me to believe they would have looked as dominant as they did. They definitely don't win 73 games. In 2019 conference finals, this is without KD. Draymond is averaging 17 points, 9 assists, 2 steals, damn near 3 blocks, Jesus, and shooting 54% from the field, Jesus. But I do agree that Kenyon is a better scorer. I will say that. Also, let's not get things fucked up. Kenyon really was one of them niggas, though. Let's not ever get things fucked up. However, I want to get that list.
You stated Kenyon was born and raised in Saginaw. Correction. Born in Saginaw. Oak Cliff made, brother. You talking about? So, cut from a different kind of cloth, man. I'm built different. And that word underachieving is thrown around too loosely, right? It really is. And from someone who came into this thing to a bad team, year 2, make it to the finals, led said team in scoring. Can you say that? Don't think so, brother. Come back, do it again.
I ain't gonna lie, that's not really that much of a flex. It's a flex, but it ain't, I mean, it's not like, yeah, it's not that much of a flex. He led this team in scoring in year 2. Bro, he led that team in scoring in year 2, and he didn't even average 15 points per game. Kenyon Martin led this team in scoring in year 2. That's Kenyon Martin, 14.9. 14.9. It was a different era, low. Be fucking serious, bro. Also, led the team in scoring. The next two niggas next to him are 14.8 and 14.7. Hey, man. Hey, Kenyon gonna get that shit off for the rest of his career. Kenyon gonna get that shit off. I ain't gonna lie, he led. That ain't really the flex that I think y'all think it is, though, but he led. He definitely led.
Came up a little short, much better team. I think the Lakers came up short. You say I got the sniff? Yeah, I went a couple times. Lost to some really good teams. Nothing to be frowned upon. Year 2, year 3, 23-year-old young man making it to the finals, playing against a Dynasty in the Lakers. Yeah, really good team. And you mentioned that I never defensive player years and all defensive teams and things of that nature. We all know those things are biased, brother. You know what I'm talking about? Very biased.
Okay. Fuck, man. He could have just said I played at an all defensive league level, and we could have just kept it pushing. If they're biased, they're definitely not going to be biased to the second round pick in Draymond. The better argument should have been I was a forward playing in an era that featured Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Ron Artest, Andre Carolyn. That's what he should have said. The threshold for me making an all defensive team is significantly higher than it was for you. Now, we can debate that, but chalking it up to it just being biased, at the end of the day, like Kenyon, who was a really great defender, he just wasn't good enough to make the team. But that had a lot to do with the fact that he just played in an era of basketball where like there was a lot of really great defenders, though.
The guys that I
and that is also true. If we're going to say biased, then you would also have to acknowledge that Draymond should probably have 2 DPOIs, not just 1.
at the guard, different. Night in, night out, different. But ask them, same people who I had to guard, what did I bring to the table? We're not talking accolades here. You did your thing, man. You're a 4-time champion. Congratulations. But we all know, people that know this game and watch this game and know what to look for in this. They know, bruh. People that know basketball know what this is, man. Like, there's no way to like around it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't even like, double figures for your career. Like, you can't, like, that's your personal accolade. That's something that you are not doing or doing. Single digits across the board. You helped, yes. You've been the ultimate glue guy. I am shocked and appalled that you don't have an Elmer's Glue sponsorship, brother. Because if you look it up in the dictionary, they should have your picture next to the Elmer's Glue thing, bro. Like glue, Draymond.
All right, let me say this to the niggas who keep also saying in my chat that he's a triple single. The reason why that don't really work is because Ben Wallace is also a triple single. None of us would dare be foolish enough to say that Ben Wallace isn't good or not a Hall of Famer. None of us would. And just like how Kenyon is talking right now, I don't think Kenyon would ever tell Ben Wallace you weren't really like that because you didn't end your career averaging double figures in anything. That triple single shit don't really move niggas who actually know the value that a defensive player can provide to a team. We're not going to sit here and say that someone who is a defensive oriented player that we all know that Draymond played at an era of basketball where he's asked to defend the perimeter and defend in space more than any other time, so he can't just hang around the rim and grab boards. We know those things. So I just be clear on that.
Yes, bro. Absolutely. Every team needs one.
And also, all Draymond would have to say is, well, when it mattered the most, I got double figures in the playoffs. He could easily just say that.
You change that dynamic the way certain GMs look at glue guys, right? Second round picks. Like you changed the narrative for a lot of second round picks. Good job. I wouldn't know nothing about that. Never been considered a glue guy. Maybe later in my tenure after surgeries and moved teams a couple times, but no, not necessarily that kind of a glue guy. I was asked to do certain things and play certain people and score. I was actually, you know what? I was actually asked to score for us to win. So we're talking careers, right? And we're talking numbers. So Steph Curry, we all know, is arguably going to go down as the best point guard ever. Is the best shooter ever. Hell of a basketball player. Shout out to 30 man. So did a little digging. And Lil Birdie told me that games that Steph has played without Draymond, he is 53 and 38 in those games. games without Draymond. He's winning percentage without Draymond. So let's flip that same coin. You played 128 games without Steph. Wonder what that record is. That same little birdie told me their record 52, 76, 128 games. Under 500. So who needs
a lot of those games during the year in which Draymond, when Curry got hurt in that year that they just decided to tank and they weren't trying to win games? There's a lot of those. Oh, okay. That's what I thought. Okay.
Who's underachieving? Who's not carrying their brick? When 30 ain't out there, who should be asked to do more? Should the other guys be asked to do more, or should the guy that's been around and know how to win step up his production? That's what I've always thought. Right? That's in those same said games, you shoot 41% from the field, brother, and 29% from three. Once again, who ain't carrying their own brick? Huh? Speaking of it, there was you had a season, bro. Like did a little digging, man. Like it wasn't hard to find. It was right there in front of me. All I had to do was hit one button. It was right there in front of me. Steph was out. Clay was out. You played 43 games. That's more than half. I think they asked you to sit your ass down somewhere, bro. And in that season, you were the 12th highest scorer on that said team. In the 43 games that you played. Is that brick too heavy? Is that brick too heavy? Like we get it if you got to carry your own merit, you got to go on your own merit. Like if it's too heavy, we totally get it. Like, you need help with that brick.
12th highest is crazy. I ain't gonna lie. 12th highest is tough. That's tough.
I've always carried my own brick, bro. Like I ain't need no help. I got it out the mud. I'm talking about to be the number one pick. Didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? It took that. And for some crazy reason, you wanted to mention college. Like, we are not going to even consider that a conversation between you and I, or the words that needs to be coming out of your mouth when you are on the mention someone else that wanted from Michigan State. Shout out to my team, please. But the world know, bruh. The world know that they have a national championship because that. I got hurt. Yeah, I did. I got hurt. I ended my college career, we know. But that didn't deter nothing.
Still one.
Huh? Say it loud for the people in the back.
Still one.
You did. Still were number one, Dad. And you mentioned my Rookie of the Year trophy, or that I did not win. Only reason, since we talking facts here, we speaking facts and we talking hoop. The only reason that I did not win Rookie of the Year, because I broke my leg again the following March. Milt Palacio, broke my leg again, almost a year to the date. So that's the only reason I didn't win Rookie of the Year. So, facts here.
No. He's talking about he broke his leg at the end of March. I want y'all to understand, back then the seasons ended in March. The seasons ended in March. This is before they would stretch out the years. They ended in March. He said the reason why he didn't, I'm not saying he didn't get hurt. This is Kenyon's rookie season from game 1 to the end of the season. Like, come on, he played more than enough games. Also, I just want to be clear, that's also, if there is a rookie season in which you can win Rookie of the Year, that is the year. That is the year. The bar was so low that Mike Miller won Rookie of the Season. The threshold for you to win Rookie of the Year is not a high threshold. You just didn't win Rookie of the Year. Like, you could easily have won Rookie of the Year that year. You just didn't win it, though. I mean, but I hear it, though. I hear it.
Were you in that conversation? Oh, you said you didn't play much your rookie year. I wonder why that is. I wonder why you didn't play. Oh, the team that picked you, you were their third choice. They picked you. They went 2 other people and then was like, we gotta pick somebody. Like we got, you know what? Kid from Michigan State, undersized kid that we can bring him to camp. Like we need bodies for camp. Like that. Like, you know what? He's ideal for camp. He's a camp body. Yeah, that's what he is, and turned into something. You an extra that turned into a star. You an extra at camp that turned into a star. Somebody liked what they saw. Hats off to that person.
I ain't gonna lie, we got to skip to the 200 names, but I will say this. I'm gonna be honest with you, even the logic that Kenyon is using right now doesn't make any sense, because he's saying that when they needed you to step in, they need you to step up. When Curry and Clay were out and they needed you to step up to do more, you were the 12th leading scorer. The reason why we know of Draymond is because he stepped up. When Bogut and David Lee kept getting hurt and they needed somebody else to throw out there and they were running small ball lineups and they were literally trying shit, the reason why it worked is because Draymond stepped up. When the team needed something the most from someone on that roster, they got it out of Draymond. Think about that. Not 2015. No, I'm talking about before that. David Lee and Bogut were getting hurt in 2013 and 2014. In Draymond's sophomore year, he went from a bench player to getting real playoff burn because they needed him to step up. That is literally the whole story of Draymond. That when they needed him to step up, he fulfilled the role of stepping up. However, I just want to hear the 200 names. I want to hear the 200 names though.
All right, let's address so taking shots, you said. I mentioned on our show, the Gills Arena show, shout out to the crew, that I can name 200 people better at basketball than Draymond Green. Talking about basketball, skill set of basketball. I can name 200 people that I think are better at basketball than you. That's people. I dumbed it down to power forwards.
This is getting fucking disgusting, dog. Nah, there's literally no way you can name 200 power forwards that are better than Draymond Green. So what we're going to do, I'm going to stop the video when he names somebody that is just an egregious fucking name, because he would have to name an egregious name. Not someone who's debatable. I can hear you out. I'm going to stop the video when this man says an egregious name.
I dumbed it down to just power forwards. People that are really good at basketball, man. Like all around, they do things more than just score. They play basketball. Their skill set is that, like, they really good though. So let's go down this. Should we go down this list?
Shoot you 50 power forward.
50. So this is a list of. I was gonna cut it short, but then my basketball savantness, if that is a word, kicked in, and this is where we are with this situation, right? So here's Kenyon's power forward list of Mount.
50 Mount.
Yeah, this buck is 50, right? So let's go down
50
this.
is,
So watch
50
this.
is crazy.
So we got Giannis, Anthony Davis, Dirk, Charles Barkley, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Dennis Rodman, Karl Malone, Chris Webber, Amari Stoudemire, Chris Bosh, Rasheed Wallace, Pau Gasol, Elton Brand, Antoine Jameson, Zach Randolph, Carlos Boozer, David West, Jermaine O'Neal, Sean Kemp, Derek Coleman, Clifford Robinson, Danny Manning, Larry Johnson, Ben Baker, LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, Kevin Love, Sharif Abdul-Rahim, Al Jefferson, Drew Gooden, Josh Smith, Tim Thomas, Antoine Walker, Lamar Odom, Jason Williams, Horace Grant, Otis Thorpe, Paul Millsap, Jawan Howard, David Lee, Joe Smith, Al Harrington, Rashard Lewis, Brian.
He said Joe Smith. I try. Y'all see how lenient I was. This nigga said Joe Smith? No. I heard the Drew Gooden one as well, but but Joe Smith is a crazy name. Joe Smith is a crazy name. Man.
Grant, Tom Chambers, Kevin McHale, Nene, and for shits and giggles, you ain't better than Popeye Jones, Bo Outlaw, Reggie Evans. That's for shits.
Reggie Evans? No, he's Joe. You got that one, dog. Yeah, yeah, you got that one. We're really just trolling. We're trolling. For those who don't know, Reggie Evans is also a quadruple single player throughout league history, just so y'all know. Also, Joe Smith, he must be talking about Joe Smith before the injuries. I think that's what he's talking about. Okay. Because Joe Smith ended his career averaging 11 points. Okay, I see what he's saying. Reggie Evans is crazy, though. Reggie Evans is crazy.
Just because I like what they did for their team. I like what they did for their team.
We're getting so nasty with this shit. I need y'all to understand how crazy it is to say Reggie Evans, because some of y'all probably don't know who Reggie Evans is. He's a role player back in the day. 4-7, I can't even say nothing. It's 4-7. Nigga is averaging 4 points and 7 rebounds, and he used to get burned. Popeye Jones, 7 points and 7 rebounds. Who else he said? And he said Nene. That's the other name. When he's talking about Clifford Robinson, he's talking about like early Clifford Robinson, because Clifford Robinson was actually nice. Yeah, he talking about 20 and 8 Cliff Robinson. I know what he's talking about. He said Cliff Robinson, but Nene is the other name. Nene is a name he just threw in there because he was his teammate. Nene is another no for me. Nene is a massive no for me. That's a no. He said Tim Thomas, the nigga that was on the Suns that shot threes. Oh man, we got to be serious. Oh man. I don't even know what to say, because obviously some of them names are just they just chatting. Popeye Jones is crazy rage bait. Some of them names though, he got a good portion of them names correct. I can't hold you. Apparently y'all said Gil said enough is enough. He's trying to call a ceasefire.
Kenyon has said previously, I can name 200 players better than Draymond Green. Provided a list of power forwards better than Draymond Green. I'm not gonna say every single power forward on the list. Some of it felt a little petty and nefarious, but 90%. I mean, he threw like Popeye Jones in there, threw David Lee in there, and did make his point. So I'm not here to disagree with Kenyon.
David Lee, like white boy David Lee?
Yes, the Caucasian David Lee.
See, the reason why the David Lee point don't make no sense, because if you're saying that you needed Curry and Klay to win, Curry and Klay were on the roster when David Lee was there, and they did not win. Let that be known. Yeah, Draymond quite literally took the nigga job that you're claiming that was better than him. And so if you're saying that he's Curry and Klay dependent, then the question should be asked, well, why the fuck did that nigga win when Curry and Klay was on the floor? You would quite literally have to answer that question. You would have to answer that question.
But did point out for what they did for their teams. Yeah, there's a lot of talk always about the rings, and I think Gil, you always mentioned
the rings don't have nothing to do with
separate team.
Somebody being better than you. Someone being better than you is you and your talent, not your team success. But David Lee as an individual, yeah, he would be better than Draymond Green. As a player, one averaged 20 in the NBA, dog.
Yeah, one is a 9-time all defensive selection.
Okay, that's one side of the floor. Depends. That's what I said. It all depends.
Yeah, and David Lee on the other side was trash. It does not make no sense to me at all, because effectively their argument is they're better because they average more points. And I mean, if that's your argument, then I guess, but like that is also one side of the ball. And 20 points isn't just one side of the ball; it's only one aspect of that side of the ball as well.
Depends on what you value.
Who David Lee locking up?
Who locked up David Lee? He scored 20 points a game. 20 points a game.
Yeah, I've seen Draymond drop 32, 15, and 7 in a game 7 of the NBA Finals, so I know he has it in him. He just elects not to do it.
Wait, he averaged 20 points twice in his career. 18, 16. Like this has nothing to do with winning as a team. This is individual.
He was a bucket getting Caucasian.
As I said, it all depends on what you're trying to. How about Jones as a power? If it's a power forward?
This is nasty. The fact that they're looking it up is crazy.
Yeah, I'm not putting Popeye Jones in front of them.
Also, y'all are saying bad matchups. The team that they lost to were the Clippers. In the matchup against the Clippers, bro, this nigga averaged 13 points. So if the argument is you score better than me in a playoff series where they needed you to step up, because that's the argument. He only put up 14 points, bro. G3 Goldie said, I'm gonna be real though. If the nigga can say 40 power forwards alone, I don't care to argue. He might get to 200 names, gang. He can get to 200 names, but are the names going to be real? Like, let's be clear. Let's be serious. I just realized this. Draymond in this exact same series averaged 2 fewer points than him, and he played more minutes. What the fuck? Yeah. At the end of the day, bro, this is all nasty. This is nasty. If you put prime David Lee there, they would be worse. Bro, if you put prime David Lee on that roster, they would be worse. Because you wouldn't even get the version of David Lee that you would need to be impactful, because no one would ever in their right mind think to themselves, we're going to run offense through David Lee with Steph fucking Curry on the roster and Klay Thompson. So the value in which he would provide to a team wouldn't even be that impactful, because he wouldn't be the first or second best offensive player on the roster. So why the fuck would we ever run offense through we wouldn't run offense through David Lee. David Lee scored 20 points on the Knicks team when there was nobody else on that roster and it was just him. That's what he did. Then he went to Golden State, put up 20 points again before Curry took off. And then as soon as Curry took off, nigga, they were running offense through Curry. But then when David Lee is still on the roster, and so is Stephen Curry, and Draymond said, bro, the dynasty started after he was gone. That's when the dynasty started. The dynasty started after he was done. And they went into a playoff series, and they was asking David Lee more. We need more out of David Lee, the player that you're saying is better. And David Lee basically gave us Draymond numbers. This is their logic now. This ain't mine. This is David Lee, and that's Draymond. You gave me Draymond numbers. And matter of fact, we go to game 7. When I need you the most, Draymond gave me 24 points. When I needed him the most, Draymond gave me 24. David Lee gave me 13. So again, based off of the logic that you're giving me, when they needed Draymond the most to step up, he responded with 24. David Lee gave me 13. Hey, that's all I'm gonna say. Draymond turned into the second option, 24. He scored more points than everybody else on his team, not named Stephen Curry. And the nigga telling me, oh no, he didn't play that many minutes. In this game, he played 38 minutes. Gave me 13 points. Matter of fact, nigga, the game before that, when we needed enough points to win, we barely won this game to force it to a game 7. Draymond gave me 14 points, more than Klay, and this nigga David Lee gave me 8 when we needed him the most. that's the argument, that is the argument. These niggas was on the same team with one another, and they literally needed it the most. One gave me more than the other. David Lee shrunk. Draymond became a better player, pushed to game 7, and the reason why they lost is because the nigga that's supposed to be better, they're on the team at the same time. And in Draymond in 2014, he's in year what? He's in year 2. A sophomore, second-year player, who's a second-round pick. When they needed him the most in the playoffs, games 6 and 7, scored more points than the nigga that you said was better than him. That don't make no sense to me. Nigga vanished like the Avatar, but he better than him. Make no sense. Following year, you got hurt. You got moved the fuck out of the way in a second-round player in year 3, first team all defense. But it's bias. It's bias for a second-round pick. Also, second in DPOY votes. As soon as the better player got out of the way, Draymond stepped in, became one of the league's best defenders, and they won a championship that year. Draymond then went in the postseason in 2015, averaged 14 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, nearly 2 steals, and a block. That's what he did. And then again, went in the next year, won 73 games, 14, 10, and 7. Then went in the postseason, averaged 15, 10, and 6. And then more specifically, in the first 2 rounds of the 2016 postseason run, the man was out there balling without you. He balled without Curry. 18, 10, and 7. No, bro. At the end of the day, this is all nasty. It's a little nastiness. It's a little nastiness going on. I fuck with the pettiness. I can't hold you. I fuck with it, though. I do fuck with the pettiness. But what I truly don't understand, you're going to sit there and say players need to sacrifice. They need to play a role, be a glue guy to help your team win. Draymond does that, and it's somehow a bad thing. Somehow a bad thing. And as a sidebar, after KD left, Klay not playing, it's Steph and Draymond and a bunch of niggas who ain't never played a lick of fucking playoff basketball, basically. Wash, Iguodala, Looney, who probably played in the 2019 run. Nigga, that team was on pace to win like 60-some games before Curry and Dre got hurt. Dre has turned that team into one of the best defensive units every single year, no matter who the fuck is on that roster. Iggy, Klay there, one of the best. Iggy, Wash, Klay not there, one of the best. It don't matter who is there. Draymond has turned that team to one of the best defensive units almost every single year. Only reason why Draymond's playoff numbers are bad is because of the first 2 years in the playoffs where he barely getting any burn, and then these last 3 runs where he's just an older version of himself. But nigga, from 2015 to 2019, Draymond really like that. He really like that. I did not know Draymond's number was like this. Bank Castle said, can we actually talk about their basketball ability and skill set? Well, I had no problem with doing that. The problem is that nigga just start putting up points, rebounds, and assist numbers and saying triple singles, and that's the troll that niggas get off on Draymond. So I mean, we could have, but I mean that's what niggas want to talk about. And if we want to talk about skill set in terms of scoring the basketball, putting the ball in the hoop, Draymond is nowhere near as good as a lot of the names that he listed off, without a doubt. As a rebounder, he's probably in the middle of some of the names that he listed off. As a defender, though, outside of Tim and Garnett, I can't even think of another power forward that would be better defensively than Draymond. As a passer, he's at the top of that list. As a defender and passer, he's at the top of that list. It's just Tim and KG who are better defenders off the top of my head. I can't think of another one. But Draymond genuinely might be the 3rd greatest defender at his position. AD, I forgot about AD. Let's just say Rodman. We'll say Rodman as well. I think AD's defensive motor isn't as sustainable as a lot of people think, in large part because he's been asked to do so much offensively, to be fair. I think if you get a locked in version of AD defensively, I think he could produce at levels better than Draymond. The problem is he just doesn't do that consistently enough for me to give him that nod. But if you want to say at their best, AD and Rodman are better defenders, I guess. He did say Giannis as well. I think Draymond's a better defender than Giannis, so I wouldn't say that either. And you're not thinking. Draymond is a better defender than Giannis. Even the most pessimistic version of myself cannot see me putting Draymond lower than the 5th best power forward defender of all time. I couldn't do so. But they turned it into a points, rebounds, and assists argument. That's what they did. And at Draymond's best, when they needed him the most, because that's what the argument was, when you step up, between 2014 and 2019 in the postseason, when they're making those runs, going to the finals every single year except for 1 year in 2014, bro, Draymond is averaging 13, 10, and 7. And even if you remove 2015, 2014, because they got knocked down the first round, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, when they make the playoffs and make the finals every single year, 13, 14 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, nearly 2 steals, and a block and a half. At Draymond's absolute best, I do not believe that the 7-point difference that David Lee may provide to me makes him a better player. Fuck no. Especially because David Lee wasn't even doing that shit in the playoffs. Fuck no. Absolutely not. But it was a good troll, though. Good troll. I fuck with it.